like they have so many new parts. They have so
Yes.
many new guys. And it's always great to hear from the coach himself, like, what are your expectations for a lot of these new parts? And Carolina's really ramped up their social media game. I've seen a lot of stuff this summer from pickup games and against the pros, against themselves, and it's like a swarm.
So right after the Hubert Davis press conference, it looks like they took off for the Outer Banks. It was, some sort of community outreach. They're out in Nags. Like, shout out to Sam Walker, longtime colleague,
our guy
in the ACC. He runs WOBX. And I love the lead. No, they didn't take the ferry from Chapel Hill. They took the team bus down US 64. And he writes about how members of the basketball team spent the weekend on the Outer Banks for a second straight summer organized by Dare County native Johnny Tillett. That guy's connected to just about everything down in the Outer Banks, with a bunch of local businesses chiming in, some charity work, etc. But you talk about that social media game. This is all part of it. And Sam had aggregated a whole bunch of stuff, including beach day. Here are all your key players hanging out on the Outer Banks, surfing, playing football, ping pong, on jet skis, and everything else. They get the fully catered meal and everything else. Now, to your point about the social media, you're right. They've stepped up their game. But there's something else going on here, and it's all about narrative setting. Okay? We know what the narrative is at Duke. It's John Shire bringing back a whole bunch of pieces from last year and making it work. I mean, are they going to platoon it at Duke like we saw at Kentucky a few years ago? Don't. It doesn't work. But Hubert Davis is on a message-sending tour this summer.
Yes.
And it's everything that I see about UNC basketball this offseason is about chemistry. They all get along. There's a great group. Also, stuff. They're never mentioning Caleb Love. I'm pretty sure at Thursday's press conference, he was not asked a single question about Caleb Love. I think it was just about this group, this team, and what it's going to be like and how they complement each other and everything else. They're really trying to nail that down. That last year's result was because the team didn't exactly get on the same page, but this team is. But there's also some other questions about Hubert Davis that I've been telling you, Joe. This season is critical for Hubert Davis and his future at North Carolina, because Hubert's talking the talk, much like he did last year, but he didn't follow through on minutes, bench play, and everything else. The reason why they had, 7 transfers was because of some questions about the rotation and development and everything else. So now you've brought all these pieces that are your guys to complement your 2 key guys, Armando Bacot and RJ Davis. How are you going to make it work? And I've already started to see some of the seeds being planted for how this season is going to be presented for North Carolina. They better make the tournament.
No, that's good though, because I think those are the mistakes that they made along the way.
Yeah.
Even going back to that first team, I think one of Hubert's things is he was at ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing with the media.
Oh, he's perfect with the media.
When he wants to be, right? But I think he got surly early for a reason, because there's a different standard over there. And it's not the media, it's the public in general, right? So when I look at what they're doing now, I think this is just, how I asked Bubba Cunningham, hey, what did you do this offseason? What kind of conversations do you have? How can I help you?
Yeah.
Well, I would, without knowing the answer specifically from Bubba, I would say this is one of those reasons. And a big thing that they need to tap into is, forever, even Duke players would go over there and play pickup in the summer. State players would go over there and play pickup. Like, they need to tap into that. Because right now, who's the best Carolina basketball player in the NBA? I mean, you got to work pretty hard to think about it.
I got to think about it now.
It's Cameron Johnson,
I guess
probably,
it's Cam Johnson,
who's a pit transfer. But, it's not like, it's not Zion Williamson. It's not Jason Tatum. It's not Brandon Ingram. It's not like off the top of your head. They die to claim a Kyrie Irving at this point. The best player in the NBA,
making headlines for different
the
reasons.
best player in the NBA is still Michael Jordan. I'm walking around Manhattan 2 weeks ago or whenever it was.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, Jordan. The greatest gift that's ever been given. Props to Bubba Cunningham, though. Once they started incorporating Carolina stuff and starting selling the throwback Carolina stuff, that's where you really, because yes, there's a whole generation that might not even remember Michael Jordan from the Bulls. They just, he's a sneaker guy. So to have the Carolina stuff helps them. But it's funny that you said last year their chemistry was their problem.
I agree.
I know you do. I know you do.
Saying that's the
I know you do. They were not talented enough last year.
They weren't.
They were not talented. And I completely forgot about Pete Nance and how he was absolutely abused by NC State because it was oh my God. Did you see the clip of Josh Allen on one of the podcasts? I think it's Bussin' with the Boys.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Josh Allen, and you've heard me say this. Okay. Josh Allen on this clip said in actual NFL football games, their audible for when a white player is in coverage is milk. Okay? Milk. They know that person cannot cover any of their receivers or running backs. So they literally audible and he says milk.
Wow.
Okay? That was the type of situation that Pete Nance was in at NC State. Like, he was so bad, every play was designed to go against him. Mm-hmm. This is the player they bought in to replace Brady Manick. He wasn't good enough. And it put so much pressure on Caleb Love and RJ Davis and Armando Bacot, personality conflicts aside, whatever they were, real or imagined. They're not the type of players who were going to perform at their highest level every single time out. And we've seen this time and time again with Bacot. He's a wonderful garbage man in the best sense of the world. Great rebounder, intense player. He's improved tremendously over his career, but he is not a guy that you can just throw the ball into and get a basket from consistently every single game. That's not his game. That's not the best parts of his game. So last year, Carolina's true problem was they didn't have enough guys. So I at least, A, I like what they're doing with the messaging, and B, I like that they've added more options. Give yourself a chance. You're not going to ask Cormac Ryan to be great every game like you did Caleb Love last year.
You needed him to hit big shots.
Every once in a while, you're going to say, okay, cool. Look at that was the Cormac Ryan game. Paxton Wojcik, you're going to say, man, I really hope he shoots better than 27% or whatever Caleb Love's terrible 3-point percentage was. And you're going to go, but he's not going to do it every game. But there's going to be games where he hits 4 threes and you go, see, that was a great ad. They just didn't have that last year. And gosh, I really don't want to tread into the Leaky Black territory because of how much everybody loves Leaky Black, but not having a guy who's a total minus on offense in your lineup now is going to be good for Carolina.